everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we start, I want you to ask yourself one simple question. What would you do if you were treated unfairly in your own home every single day? Not once, not for a week, but for years. Today's story is about favoritism, exhaustion, silent pain, and the moment everything finally changed. This is the story of how my mom let my younger siblings skip chores while I did absolutely everything, and what happened when I finally stopped accepting it. From the outside, our house looked perfect. 2 parents, 3 kids, a clean home, a normal family. But inside those walls, things were very different. I was the oldest child, and from a very young age, I wasn't treated like a daughter. I was treated like free labor. It started small. Can you help with the dishes? Can you fold the laundry? Can you clean the living room? At first, I didn't mind. I wanted to help. I wanted to be a good kid. I wanted my mom to be proud of me. But slowly, very slowly, helping turned into expectation. Let me explain what a normal day looked like for me. I woke up early, before school. I cleaned the kitchen, packed lunches, took out the trash. My younger siblings? They slept. After school, while they played video games or watched TV, I washed dishes, did laundry, cleaned bathrooms, vacuumed the house, cooked dinner. Every single day. Here's the part that hurt the most. My siblings were never asked to help. If they said, "I'm tired," my mom said, "Okay, go rest." If I said I was tired, my mom said, "Stop complaining." They skipped chores without consequences. If I forgot one thing, I was yelled at. That's when I realized this wasn't about age, this wasn't about ability, this was favoritism. I didn't complain. I stayed quiet. I told myself, they're younger. They need more care. This is just how families work. But inside, I was breaking. I felt invisible, unappreciated, used. No one said thank you. No one noticed my effort. No one asked if I was okay. One night, after doing chores for nearly 6 hours straight, I finally snapped. I calmly said to my mom, "Why do I have to do everything while they do nothing?" She didn't listen. She laughed, and then she said the words that changed everything. "Because you're older, stop being dramatic." That night, I cried, alone in my room. And that's when I understood something very important. No one was going to stand up for me. If I didn't protect myself, no one else would. So I made a decision. A hard decision. The next day, I only cleaned my own things. I didn't wash everyone's dishes. I didn't do everyone's laundry. I didn't clean messes I didn't make. At first, no one noticed. But by day 3, the house was a disaster. Dirty dishes everywhere, laundry piled up, trash overflowing. My mom was furious. She asked me, "Why aren't you doing anything?" And for the first time in my life, I answered honestly, "Because I'm not the only one who lives here." She yelled. She called me selfish. She said I had changed, but I hadn't changed. I had just stopped being silent. My siblings were confused. After a week, something surprising happened. My siblings started helping. Not because they wanted to, because they had to. They finally understood how much work it took to keep the house running. And slowly, my mom noticed too. Angry, annoyed. They had never been responsible before. One evening, my mom quietly said, "I didn't realize how much you were doing." It wasn't a perfect apology, but it was a start. Chores were finally divided. Fairly. Here's what this experience taught me. Being helpful should never mean being used. Silence encourages unfairness. Boundaries are not disrespect. And standing up for yourself is not selfish. And most importantly, your value is not defined by how much you suffer quietly. If you're watching this and you feel overwhelmed, if you feel taken for granted, if you feel invisible in your own home, please remember this. You deserve fairness, you deserve respect, and you deserve to be heard. Thank you for listening to my story. If this touched you, like the video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're not alone. Hey everyone, before this video begins, I need you to pause for a moment. Think about the place where you're supposed to feel safest. Your home, your family. Now imagine feeling invisible there. That's what this story is about. This is not just about chores. This is about favoritism, emotional neglect, silent pressure, and learning self-respect the hard way. I was the oldest child, and from the moment I could understand instructions, I was labeled as the responsible one. At first, it sounded like a compliment. You're mature. You understand things. You're different from the others. But what I didn't realize back then was that responsibility would slowly become a burden placed only on my shoulders. Helping around the house was normal. I didn't question it. I cleaned because my mom asked. I cooked because someone had to. I watched my siblings because you're older. But slowly, helping stopped being optional. It became expected. If I helped, no one noticed. If I didn't, it became a problem. My younger siblings lived a very different life. They slept longer, played longer, rested freely. If they said, "I don't feel like it," my mom said, "Let them be kids." But when I said I was tired, "You're lazy. You complain too much. Stop acting difficult." That's when I learned. Being older didn't mean being respected. It meant being used. Let me describe a normal day. Morning. I woke up early, cleaned dishes from the night before, prepared breakfast. School. I stayed exhausted, unable to focus, always tired. Evening. While my siblings relaxed, I cleaned bathrooms, did laundry, cooked dinner, and organized the house. Night. Everyone slept. I cried silently. No one asked me how I felt. No one noticed my exhaustion. I wasn't angry at first. I was hurt. I felt invisible in my own family, like my value existed only in what I provided, not who I was. One night, I gathered courage. I didn't yell, I didn't accuse, I just asked, why do I do everything alone? My mom didn't listen. She dismissed me, and that hurt more than yelling ever could. There comes a moment when silence becomes unbearable. Mine came when I realized no matter how much I gave, it would never be enough. So I stopped. Not angrily, not dramatically. I simply stopped sacrificing myself. The house became messy, chaos everywhere, and suddenly my work was visible because it was missing. That's when people realize your worth, not when you give everything, but when you stop. I was blamed, called selfish, cold, ungrateful. But for the first time in my life, I didn't apologize, because protecting myself wasn't wrong. Slowly, responsibility was shared. My siblings learned, my mom noticed, and while the past couldn't be erased, the future changed. Here's what I want you to understand. Being kind doesn't mean accepting injustice. Love shouldn't require self-destruction. Boundaries are healthy. Silence helps no one. If this story feels familiar, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not selfish. You are not dramatic. You are not wrong. You are human, and you deserve fairness, respect, and peace. Thank you for listening.